Ever wondered how we can revolutionize air travel? Imagine planes powered by hydrogen flying through the skies with zero emissions. When we talk about the future of aviation, two main contenders emerge: electric and hydrogen planes. Both aim to reduce air travel's carbon footprint, but they do so in different ways. Imagine electric planes like giant flying batteries. They store electricity, which is then used to spin the motors and get those propellers moving. Now, picture hydrogen planes a bit differently. They have these things called hydrogen fuel cells. These fuel cells do a neat trick where they take hydrogen and oxygen, mix them, and create electricity. And the best part is, the only thing they leave behind is water. Hydrogen is super dense with energy, packing about 3 times more punch per weight unit compared to jet fuel. That's why it's the top contender in the ring for long distance flights, where every pound matters and energy efficiency is the name of the game. Even though electric batteries are getting better and better, they still can't compete with hydrogen when it comes to energy to weight ratio. In simpler terms, for the same weight, hydrogen can deliver a lot more power. Now, this is a game changer in the aviation industry, where every pound counts. Just think about it. Each extra pound can add thousands of dollars to the fuel bill, so you can see why hydrogen is getting a lot of attention in this field. Hydrogen planes have a pit stop advantage. They can be topped up with fuel in just a few minutes, just like their traditional plane cousins. Now this is where they really leave electric planes in the dust. You see, electric planes need to take a long break, sometimes hours, just to recharge. The energy density of hydrogen is like a superpower. This means that hydrogen planes can go the distance, flying further without needing to pit stop to refuel. This makes them the perfect choice for those long-haul flights. So while electric planes might need to take a break, hydrogen planes just keep on going. Hydrogen fuel cells' only byproduct is water, making them a zero-emission technology. Now, electric planes are also on the zero-emission team, but the electricity they use often comes from fossil fuels, which are not eco-friendly. On the other hand, hydrogen can be produced from a whole range of sources, including renewable ones. To produce hydrogen using renewable energy, we're talking about a fuel life cycle that's completely carbon-free. So, how could hydrogen-powered aeroplanes revolutionize the future of long-haul flights? Hydrogen-powered aeroplanes are a type of aircraft that use hydrogen fuel instead of conventional fossil fuels. The idea behind this is to create a more sustainable and environmentally friendly way of flying. Hydrogen is like a double agent in the world of aviation. It can either be burned directly in a jet engine, or it can sneak into a fuel cell to generate electricity that powers an electric motor. And the best part is that whether it's burning or powering, the only thing that it leaves behind is the water vapor that we discussed earlier. The journey to hydrogen flight starts right at the production stage. Typically, we use a process known as electrolysis to produce hydrogen. We pass the electric current through water, and then separate hydrogen and oxygen atoms. This hydrogen then steps into the spotlight as our star fuel. The hydrogen is stored in fuel cells on the aeroplane. These fuel cells work like batteries, but they don't run down or need recharging. They operate as long as there's a fuel supply, in this case, hydrogen. A hydrogen fuel cell takes the hydrogen and oxygen, and then it does its thing. The result is that it produces electricity, heat, and water. The cool part is that the electricity doesn't just sit there, it gets to work. It powers up the plane's systems. Now, you might be wondering about the safety of hydrogen. After all, isn't it highly flammable? Yes, it is, but so is jet fuel. With proper safety measures, hydrogen can be just as safe as conventional fuels. These measures include storing hydrogen in tanks that can withstand high pressure and using sensors that can detect any leaks. However, there are several challenges and limitations associated with hydrogen-powered aeroplanes. Hydrogen gas is very light, but it takes up a lot of space. To store enough hydrogen for a flight, it needs to be compressed or turned into a liquid, both of which require a lot of energy. The tanks to store hydrogen are also heavy, which can offset some of the weight advantages. Hydrogen refueling infrastructure is not as widespread or readily available as traditional jet fuel. Airports would need to invest in new infrastructure to store and pump hydrogen, which could be costly. You know how careful you have to be when you're around a campfire? Well, it's the same with hydrogen. It catches fire really easily, and it can be pretty risky to deal with. Sure, we can design safe ways to store and fuel up hydrogen, but there's always that extra risk of accidents happening, more so than with the usual fuels we use. While hydrogen fuel cells are more efficient than combustion engines, they're still less efficient than batteries for storing energy. This means that for short flights, battery electric airplanes might still be the better option. You know how some things are more expensive because they're not as popular? That's the case of hydrogen right now. It's not in high demand, so producing it, especially the eco-friendly green hydrogen made through electrolysis, can be a bit pricey. This means flying hydrogen-powered airplanes could be more expensive than flying traditional ones. Electric aeroplanes are aircraft that use electric motors for propulsion. Instead of using fuel-burning engines, they use batteries to store energy and electric motors to turn the propellers. This is similar to how an electric car works, but in the sky. Did you know that the concept of electric aeroplanes isn't a fresh idea? People have been toying with it for more than 100 years, but it's only recently that technology has caught up to make electric flight more than just a dream. It's like we've been waiting for the future, and now it's finally here. One of the biggest advantages of electric aeroplanes is that they're much quieter than traditional aeroplanes. Electric motors produce very little noise compared to fuel-burning engines, which can make air travel more pleasant for passengers and less disruptive for people living near airports. Another advantage is that electric aeroplanes are more environmentally friendly. They don't burn fossil fuels, so they don't produce carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases. This could help reduce the impact of air travel on climate change. What do you think are the main hurdles and drawbacks when it comes to electric aeroplanes? One of the biggest is that batteries are heavy and don't store as much energy as fuel. This means that electric aeroplanes currently have a shorter range and can carry less weight than traditional aeroplanes. However, researchers are working on developing better batteries that could overcome these limitations. Another challenge is that charging batteries takes time. This could make electric aeroplanes less practical for long-distance flights or quick turnaround times. Some companies are exploring the idea of swapping out batteries between flights to speed up the process. Despite these challenges, many people are excited about the potential of electric aeroplanes. Several companies, including established aerospace companies and startups, are developing electric aeroplanes. Some of these are small personal aircrafts, while others are larger commercial airliners. Electric aeroplanes are a promising technology that could make air travel quieter and more environmentally friendly. However, there are still challenges to overcome, particularly in terms of battery technology and charging times. But with continued research and development, the sky's the limit for electric flight. Think about electric aeroplane technology as a teenager. It's still growing and learning, especially when you compare it to the fully grown adult that is fuel-powered aeroplane technology. Because it's still in its early stages, there's a lot we still don't know. As we continue to develop and use this technology, we might stumble upon some unexpected challenges or risks. So, which companies are investing in these technologies? Starting with hydrogen-powered planes, Airbus is the big player in this field. They're testing hydrogen power on a commercial airliner and have plans for a demonstration flight of their A380 passenger plane using hydrogen fuel cells. Another company, Beyond Aero, is a startup that's working on a business aircraft powered by a hydrogen fuel cell system. They've already tested a subscale demonstrator and are planning to design a business aircraft with a range of 800 nautical miles. Rolls-Royce is also making progress on aircraft engines that burn pure hydrogen. Now, let's move on to electric planes. Eviation, a company based in Washington, has developed an all-electric passenger plane called Alice. It's one of the leading electric aircraft under development and could become the first all-new, all-electric commercial aeroplane. Another company, Beta Technologies, has developed an electric aircraft called Alea. It recently completed a 2,000-mile journey from Vermont to Florida for testing by the US Air Force. They're looking at how it handles tasks like moving cargo. Can you envision a world where flying is both efficient and eco-friendly? Hydrogen planes offer that incredible promise. With longer ranges, quick refueling, and zero emissions, they outshine electric planes. Comment your thoughts on this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.